Hello everyone, Josh first back again bringing you guys some more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, and today this is going to be somewhat of a podcast slash discussion video where I'm going to be sitting down talking about a large assortment of topics, mostly covering the latest things that have happened with the YouTube community and Grand Cross, with the whole leak situation, people using mods, and of course Netmarble and how they're handling the global side of the game. A big portion of this video will be dedicated to me giving my personal feedback to Netmarble, that hopefully they will watch this video and understand where I'm coming from. Now, this is in no way a video that is coming from the voice of the community, more so for my own personal views and opinions. Some of you may agree with what I'm about to say, so then of course hopefully your voice will be somewhat heard in today's video. Otherwise, stick around and enjoy, and let me know what you all think in the comment section below as we discuss the global side of the game. So, a lot of you saw my last video where I was talking about the whole situation with Escanor coming, being delayed, all the videos, hyping him up, how it caused a bit of a stir in the community, how Netmarble has handled it, how the content creators have handled it, and how the general population of the global player base has handled it. And it was such a ginormous mess that was created. A lot of chaos, a lot of uproar, a lot of distaste, a lot of disdain, just a flat out giant mess. And because of that, Netmarble had to come out and address said videos and said that they don't want any of us content creators making said videos. Now, if you are on the content creator program, you signed up for that program out of your own free will. You did not have to do so. You chose to do so. Thus, you should listen to the rules and understand the rules, and making league videos one of them. So for the content creators that did dishonor that form that you filled out to be a part of the program, and then confirmed it yet again with another bit of information afterwards for those that were accepted, you knew better not to make those types of videos, and you did so anyway. So shame on you. And because of that, you ruined it for everyone else. Okay, now Netmarble is not saints in this situation. Now, I do like the game. I love this game. It's probably one of the better, if not the best gacha game right now going in 2020. But that does not mean that it's immune to criticism, it's immune to problems, and it's immune to hate from the community for things that have been done wrongfully to the global player base. Now, Netmarble, I want to sit here and I want to talk to you as not only a YouTuber, but as a player of the games, a consumer of your product. And being in the business world myself, being self-employed and working with clients in my own personal life to make ends meet, I know that there's a level of trust that you need to fulfill between a consumer and the person that is providing you with the product. The product needs to sell, and for the product to sell, it needs to be genuine, it needs to be quality, it needs to be worth the price of admission. Even for free-to-plays, a free-to-play game is not going to warm up to a game if it doesn't cover a lot of their bases, tick a lot of their boxes, etc., etc. And a free-to-play, if they love the game enough, they may one day start spending money. So not only does a free-to-play provide you with word of mouth and get those numbers up, which, obviously in the world of business, numbers are a very, very important aspect. They are also providing you with potential means to further revenue, if they so choose, because they like the game. So when you do things like false advertisements with the whole bond situation, and then wait a whole week to announce anything, and the only thing you did was a small apology, that did not sit well with a major portion, I would say a majority portion of the global player base, because you are a professional company, you are a publisher for a very huge and very mainstream game right now. It has big numbers. It's making a ton of money. We can see the data for a lot of those things. So we know the game is doing well financially. So there was no excuse not to give some kind of, proper compensation for basically going against that trust with your consumers, aka your player base. So that was one major thing that kind of irked me a little bit so far with the staff, whoever you may be. It could be the global staff that's running out of your department, I believe in San Diego, or wherever your offices were in California. Maybe the pandemic that's going around has kind of made you have a limited staff. Maybe you're using the JP or Korean staff. I don't know the company structure or the situation on who's actually running things for global, but so far they've made quite a few mistakes, and nobody's perfect, so we can't expect perfection. You are humans as we are, and we make these mistakes. But when you make a mistake, you have to own up to that mistake, and you have to be responsible. You have to take ownership of said mistakes that you've made, especially if you're a corporate structure as big as you are, Netmarble. Now, we appreciate the things you've done for the game, bringing it to global and all that, but there are still things that you need to work on, some things that you need to iron out. Still a little rough around the edges, and the players would just like a little more of, a response from you as a company to tell us that you actually care about the players, care about the product, and hope that the game actually has longevity, because this game is amazing. I would be glad to play this game for the next few years. I don't want this to be a one-trick pony, a one-year and done situation, a quick cash grab. I don't want to see that with Grand Cross, because I feel like this game has so much potential. The artists and developers that put their effort and their passion, their blood, sweat, and tears into this game did such a great job, and I think that this game deserves to be put in front of the masses for years and years to come, and even improve further on what they already have as a really solid foundation for an amazing, if not the best gacha going on today. It has that potential. It can still make that Dokkan Battle Summoner's War money, while still being an amazing game for all players, including free-to-plays all the way up to the very high rollers, the ones who spend a lot of money. So I would just like accountability. There's a word for you guys and gals out there, accountability. I would like that to be a thing for not only the YouTubers, the players themselves and the community, but also the company themselves. That's really what I'm getting at here. I want more accountability. Okay, so that's just one thing I want to get off my chest when it comes with the whole situation, because yes, the YouTubers made a big mistake. They caused this mess as well, but we can't forget about some of the problems that Netmarble yourselves have also created and kind of ignored for the most part. And I would just again, I would just like the accountability to be there from both sides, because I feel like if you want us to move on from this debacle, get the game back in that high spotlight that it had going on when it first released for global, we need to be accountable. Everyone needs to be responsible and take care of the things you need to when it comes to this game. If you make a mistake, own up to it. Okay, that's all I'm asking for. Now, switching gears a little bit, let's talk about one of the main reasons why a lot of this has stemmed from the prior versions of the game. So a lot of you know that there is a South Korean version of the game. Netmarble's home turf is South Korea, obviously. But there's also a JP version of the game, which is more popular than the Korean, due to mostly a lot of the YouTubers out there, the content creators, played the JP version of the game. Thus, a lot of the information that you hear about what's coming in the future stems from the JP version of the game. So, Netmarble, if you don't want leaks to be out there, if you don't want people to data mine the game or talk about future things, or skip for this character because this character so-and-so is coming out at a later time, then you should have put more of a stricter schedule, or not schedule, a stricter structure in place that prevents players outside of the actual JP and Korean regions to actually download and play the game freely. You have no problem taking their money when they play the JP version and spend money when they live in, let's say, United States, or if they live in Europe, or even maybe a little closer to home, maybe the Philippines, Indonesia, or Australia. You have no problem taking those players' currency and putting it into your JP and Korean version of the game, even though they're not meant to be playing those versions and they're not meant to see those versions of the game. Those are not supposed to be a part of their daily routine. They're supposed to wait for global. But we live in a day and age where social media reigns supreme over any kind of source of media content. So if there is a JP version or a Korean version and people know how to get it, they're going to get it. Now, should they get it and then complain when things are different on global? No. Those people, that's their own problem, because they chose to go play JP. They chose to play the Korean version when they were not supposed to. So if you come out with global and you do things differently, those players have zero reason to complain, because they're not supposed to play those versions in the first place. If you are not Japanese, if you are not South Korean, and you don't live in those regions, because there are people that are from other countries that live in those regions. If you are not specifically from those regions, you are not supposed to be playing those games. So you cannot complain about anything going on in global if it's different from those versions, because again, you're not supposed to play them. So to those content creators out there that make a big fuss about that, that is on you. That is not on Netmarble. But where Netmarble needs to take accountability yet again and responsibility is they are taking those players' money. They're investing that into whatever projects they have, into their bank accounts, etc., etc. So they are making money off of those players that are non-region based for those versions. And because they're doing that, they're only further assisting the problem that we're now getting on global, where players are basing everything that they do around what JP did or what Korea did. If you didn't want that to be a problem on global, you should have nipped that in the butt at the start, at the get-go. What you should have done was make the game region blocked. Okay? Banned accounts that were not using a JP IP or a Korean IP. Ban accounts that you know were logging in from areas that were outside of the region. You needed to put in those more forceful and more, I guess you could say, security-based measures to ensure that the players that you want to see the game, and everyone else had to wait for global. If that is what you wanted, that's what you should have done. But you didn't do that. So now, unfortunately, a lot of players can just go to these websites or go to these certain, places to download APKs, and they can play that version of the game right now. They can log in and they can see all the characters that Global don't have, and they're gonna think, okay, I'm gonna save for this character or that character or that character. And if you don't want that, then you should have not allowed that to be a thing to begin with. But since you did, you kind of are paying for it. And that's unfortunate, because again, it is what it is. There's not really much we can do about it now, because the cat is out of the bag. Everyone knows who is available and who's coming. We don't know when they're coming or what order, but we know these things are coming. We know about all of the functionality and the features that Global don't have yet that they have on JP. All those things have been leaked. They're out of the bag now. The whole world, if you're a hardcore player, knows. Obviously, a lot of the casuals don't know, because they're either not watching YouTubers or they just do not care to be spoiled. So there is a big portion of the player base that still does not know about that stuff. But the more hardcore player base, they do know, and they're going to slowly spread the word, and there's nothing we can do about that. It's like a wildfire. You can't let it spread, because the more it spreads, the harder it is to put out, until everything is just burnt to ashes. And we don't want the global version of the game to be burnt to ashes, obviously. So Netmarble, I implore you, I recommend you, I suggest to you, I hope you take this video as pure feedback, positive criticism, and you do something with it, please. I'm not in here to rant, I'm not in here to rage, I'm not in here to throw any hate or shade towards anyone. What I want done is for everyone to step forward, take accountability, take responsibility for each own's actions, and do something more positive. Bring the game back to where it was on day one. We were all excited and happy and joyful of what to expect. Let's get out of these rough times. We already have enough of that when you go outside. We don't need it in our games as well. So, content creators. Any of you content creators who would love to do a one-on-one interview and get your opinions out there, I would be more than thrilled to host you on our next Crosscast, our podcast that we do here on the channel. Obviously, we've only done one episode, but I'd love to bring that back. So if anybody would like to do a collab, if there's any collabs that you guys would like to see with these types of discussion videos with me, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys like these types of videos, definitely drop a like. As always, I enjoy talking to a lot of you out there. But yes, we need to take responsibility, myself included, and try to move on from this, this rough time period, and get back to the roots of what the game was supposed to be, and that was the best damn gacha game out there. Let's get back to that and enjoy ourselves. Hopefully next week we'll bring a lot of new things, a lot more enjoyment, kind of get rid of this bad stigma that we are in right now, and we can move on. So Netmarble does not want leaks. They are trying to get rid of the hackers. I respect both decisions. I'm going to move forward with that in mind. Myself and other YouTubers, hopefully we can get past that as well, bring out fresh new content for you guys out there, and hopefully we can all just have a great time, because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. We just want to play Grand Cross and have fun. And we finally got the participants for our first ever Grand Verse Championship tournament here. I will have the bracket released in a little while, and our first rounds will begin on our Discord, which you can find in the description below, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. And our semifinals and finals will take place tomorrow, Sunday, for a lot of you. And hopefully we're going to be crowning our first ever champion, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to try and get as many videos as I possibly can out with some of the matchups that we have. It's going to be very exciting, so I hope you guys do enjoy that. And again, if you enjoyed today's video, if you agree with some of the things that I said, if there's some things I might have left out that you would also suggest, or just share some of your opinions in the comment section below. I'll be glad to read rather, as many as I possibly can. I'll reply to a few of you, and yeah, so again, let's get this over with. I want to get back to the Grand Cross that I know and love. We need to fix these things. Netmarble, you have to take feedback, you have to take criticism, you have to take responsibility. YouTubers, myself included, and players alike, we need to be very respectful, be happy and glad that we actually have a game like this available right now. It could be much, much worse, so let's just kind of take that and run with it and see where we end up, guys. Hopefully it's in a great place, because I'd love to be there with all of you in the next one. So don't forget to subscribe, tick notifications, join us in the Discord in the description below. If you'd like to play the game on PC, the link is in the description below. It really helps out the channel. And don't forget to comment below what you guys think about all this. And if you guys want to see collabs in the future, let me know who you'd like for me to bring in for a one-on-one interview, or even multiple people in an awesome podcast format. Also, again, our tournament will be coming up very soon later today. So, with all that said, Have a good one. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later.